Have you ever looked at a K-pop group and thought they're successful? Sure, but something about them feels different. Not just popular, not just talented, but like they're rewriting the rules in real time. Because that's exactly what happened with Stray Kids. And what's even more interesting is that this wasn't something that happened overnight. It's a story that started with doubt, criticism, and a group of teenagers trying to prove themselves, and somehow turned into global domination. So today we're going to break this journey down step by step, from their earliest days to where they stand now, based on real articles written across the years. And as we go, I want you to think about this. Were Stray Kids always destined for this level of success? Or did they force the industry to catch up to them? Back in 2018, Stray Kids were still rookies. And at that time, people were already comparing them to BTS, mainly because of their aggressive hip-hop style and intense choreography. But even back then, there was already something different about them. This article highlights how quickly they gained attention internationally. Imagine debuting in March, and within months already having a global fan base, a Billboard chart entry, and a KCON performance. That kind of growth is not typical for a rookie group. What stands out to me personally is how their popularity wasn't just built on visuals or catchy songs, but from their survival show. Survival shows can sometimes create temporary hype, but in Stray Kids' case, it built emotional investment. Fans didn't just see polished idols. They saw teenagers struggling, doubting themselves, and fighting to debut. That kind of raw exposure builds a much deeper connection. I think this is where their identity really started forming. Even their early music like Elevator and Spread My Wings wasn't trying to be perfect. It was emotional, messy, and honest, talking about identity crisis, pressure, and uncertainty. Changbin's quote in the article really captures it. They wanted to tell stories for people their age who don't know where they're going in life. That was actually a risky move at the time, because K-pop was still heavily focused on polished concepts. But Stray Kids leaned into confusion, frustration, and rebellion. Even their debut concept, District 9, was about breaking out instead of fitting in. And I think that raises an interesting question. Do you think that rebellious identity is what made fans stay? Or could it have easily backfired if people didn't connect with it? Fast forward to 2021, and now we're no longer talking about rookies. We're talking about a group already being described as power players in K-pop. This article makes a bold point that Stray Kids aren't just successful, they're actually shaking up the status quo. One of the biggest reasons is their creative control, something fans always highlight, but outsiders sometimes underestimate. Three Racha, Bangchan, Changbin, and Han, aren't just contributing, they are leading the group's musical direction. Compared to the typical K-pop system where songs are often assigned by producers, Stray Kids flip that structure. They write their lyrics, compose their melodies, and then refine them with producers. That changes everything because now their music isn't just something they perform, it's something they truly live. At the same time, it wasn't easy. The article mentions intense deadlines, constant evaluations, and harsh critiques from their CEO. So while they had creative freedom, they were also under immense pressure. I think that combination is what pushed them to evolve so quickly. By their third anniversary, they already had multiple albums, awards, and chart success. But what I find even more interesting is their mindset. Even at that stage, Han said they still had a long way to go and wanted to inspire others. That hunger didn't disappear after success. And I think that raises another question. Is that mindset what separates groups that last from those that fade after a few years? Now we move to 2023, and this is where things really shift. At this point, Stray Kids aren't just competing, they're winning. They won at the MTV Video Music Awards, topped the Billboard 200, and stood alongside global names like BTS and Super M. But what makes this moment even more powerful is the context behind it. Their music was heavily criticized in the beginning. People called it noisy, too experimental, and too different from what K-pop was expected to sound like. Instead of changing their sound to fit those expectations, they leaned into it even more. That decision is what makes their story so compelling. Most artists, especially in a structured industry like K-pop, would adapt to fit the norm. Stray Kids chose to define their own path. Changbin even said their goal was to create a Stray Kids genre, which shows a level of confidence and vision that not many groups have. I think this is where their real breakthrough happened. When you stop trying to fit into the industry and instead make the industry adjust to you, you move from being a participant to becoming a leader. Their success with Ordinary topping Billboard 200 proved that their unique sound wasn't a weakness, it was their biggest strength. And it makes you wonder, if they had listened to early criticism and changed their style, would they still be where they are today? Beyond success and achievements, this article focuses on something deeper, their emotional impact. Stray Kids music doesn't just sound powerful, it feels personal. Songs like Elevator, Voices, and Insomnia speak directly to people dealing with loneliness, anxiety, and pressure. At the same time, tracks like My Pace and Miro bring a sense of empowerment, encouraging listeners to stop comparing themselves to others and keep moving forward. That emotional range is something that builds a strong connection with listeners, especially younger audiences. Another important factor is how they communicate with their fans. They actively interact through live streams, comments, and real-time engagement, which creates a sense of closeness. In today's digital world, fans are not just looking for idols, they are looking for authenticity. And Stray Kids provide that consistently. But it also raises an interesting thought. Is their relatability something that came naturally from the beginning, or is it something they've learned to express better as they grew? Because when you look at their journey, it feels like they've grown alongside their audience, and that kind of connection is very difficult to replicate. Now we arrive at the present where everything comes together. By 2025, Stray Kids are no longer seen as rising or emerging. They are global superstars. They have completed record-breaking world tours, released multiple albums within a short period, and even stepped into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That level of success is something most artists never achieve, but what stands out the most is their perspective on it. Despite all these accomplishments, Bangchan described success as a strong word and said he doesn't feel confident defining it. That mindset might be the key to everything. Even with global recognition, they still feel like they have more to prove. It keeps them moving forward. While touring the world, they are still writing, producing, set, and experimenting with new sounds. They are not just maintaining their success, they are actively pushing beyond it. Their album Karma reflects this idea, focusing not just on achievements, but on the connection and energy they've built with their fans over time. In the end, what defines Stray Kids isn't just talent or success, but their constant drive to grow. Their goal isn't just to be popular, but to last, to become a group that stands the test of time. And that might be the hardest goal of all. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Stray Kids have already reached their peak? Or are they still just getting started? Because if their journey has shown anything, it's that every time people think they've reached their limit, they find a way to go even further.